Good morning. Good morning. Get in focus. It's 2:34, 2:38 a.m. I'm on my way to the gym right now. I should probably get some gas before I run out real quick. I sat down and I wrote a note to my family. Every blue moon or every couple days I'll sit down, I'll write something that was on my mind, something that maybe they'll be able to share or get something out of. I don't know. I get these inspirations, and the inspiration today was shoot. I want to say Matthew 12:48. And when they came and Jesus was inside the party, and they said, "Your mother and your brother are at the door," and Jesus said, "Who are my mother and who are my brother?" He looked around and he was like, "These are the people I worship with. These are the people that, you know, believe in God. These are the people that I go to battle with spiritually. Who are my mother and who are my brother? And if they were my mother and my brother, they would be here." Now I'm not a faith scholar. I just know what I know, who I know, and where I done been, and that's been enough for me. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I have the answers to what I'm getting ready to say. But simply put, what I take from that is, just because they bore you don't mean they own you. You know, I have an earthly mother and father that I was born to, but I have women that I would turn to before I would turn to my own mother. That's not a shot at her. That just has something to do with our relationship, good, bad, or other. I have an earthly father, and I have other men that I would turn to before I would turn to him because of our relationship, how we see things. And I don't say that in a disrespectful way. I respect my mother and I respect my father. But at the end of the day, who I'm tied to has nothing to do with my blood. It has something to do with my faith. Now, people are going to always try to tie you down and say, well, we blood, we this, we that, and if I never knew you and I was raised by an adopted parent and then you come around, does that mean I forsake the love and the affection of my adopted parent because my biological came around? I don't think so. Love is love, family's family. It is what it is. Blood is just genealogical. It's not spiritual. So I wrote it out this morning, and I wrote it simply to say I'm in a blended family, right? I'm sorry. My older son I'm not his biological father. But who's not to say that God didn't allow that situation to happen because I wasn't present. I wasn't available at that time. But who knows, he didn't design it to happen that way, but then I was to come in on a part that would be vital to his development. Again, blood doesn't mean that it is the end all be all. Blood is simply genealogical. That's it. And I think the point I was trying to make was simply Don't put so much emphasis on blood. Don't put so much emphasis on mom and dad, biological, that you miss out on the people that God brings into your life to help you realize your journey, to help you bring to life your purpose, your vision. I'm a strong believer that the reason why I ended up in prison was because God needed me to get away. He needed me. He said, I can't do anything with you in this situation. This situation is not going to change. It's not going to get better. It's not going to resolve itself. Their hearts are cold. They're unwilling to change. They're unwilling to turn their back and go in a different direction. I need to remove you from the situation, because if I don't remove you from the situation, you'll be destroyed in the situation. So what I take from the text is, who is my mother? Who is my brother? That sometimes you're removed from a biological situation and you're put into a non-biological situation so that the rest of your journey and the rest of your destiny and the rest of your purpose can actually be fulfilled, versus God letting you stay still to the mother and the brother and the people who are ultimately key in your development, because they were a part of shaping who you are, whether they were in the picture or not in the picture. Their part in your life was dynamic in shaping the way that it turned out. I didn't know my mother for the majority of my life, and not knowing her shaped me into the person that said, I want to be a better husband. I want to marry my wife, and I want us to be a family and where we raise our kids. And it shaped me. See, everything shapes you. If I pull out of this parking lot and a car accident was to happen, it will be another part of shaping who I am. People see so much of what has happened as something that's happened to them, not something that's happened for them, not something that's happened to shape them. And I think that's absolutely amazing. That with all the blessings and all the things that are of faith, that we still feel like things happen to us and not for us. And there's people drifting in and out of your life on a regular basis that are helping to shape who you are. And sometimes I gotta wonder, are you missing your blessings? Are you missing the lesson? I feel so fortunate that the groups and the circles of individuals that I'm around are there, are in place. And that's not by chance. That's not by luck. That's not by happenstance. Because when you're awake and you're aware and you're not hindered by family and you're enlightened and you're open and you're accepting that the path isn't always going to be a straight line, that sometimes it goes like this and it weaves and it goes in and out and it makes different moves, but you're open to it because you understand that at the end of the day, it's what makes you. what forms you, what develops you, what creates you, what keeps you. And when you start getting that way, then you start becoming extremely powerful in what it is that you can do and be. But you gotta sometimes ask yourself, who is my mother and who is my brother? Because who you were born to, not always who you should be with. You gotta make that decision.